Hey, it's Tim from the Mighty Good Times. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, but wanted to try and get back into the Tim Talk thing and maybe use them to introduce you to the new band and talk about the lyrics of some of the new songs. And since it's been so long, last time I did this, I was in PBR. Um, yeah, I figured with this first one, I'll just kind of tell a little bit about how everything's changed in the past couple of years. Um, so PBR. Um, Our last gig was in December of 2019, like late December. Um, our last Richmond gig was like December 20th at the Broadberry, and then we did the 27th in Roanoke. And I knew PBR was ending, and it's the music business, so you don't want to like miss a beat. You stay away for too long in this business, and you get irrelevant. And I just like making music, you know. I didn't want to have a gap in my life where I'm not playing music. That's what I love to do. Sorry, I got some spider webs in my mouth. Huge spider on this other window. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. Yeah, so this is my new house. I'm on the roof right outside my music room. I don't know if you can see in there. There's my Stormtroopers helmet. But yeah, we moved into this place at the end of April, beginning of May. Yeah, so PBR was ending in December, and it was November, and I knew that Jackass Flats would be doing their New Year's Eve gig at the Camel, which is like always a sellout and an amazing time. And so I was like, man, that would be a great place to showcase the new band and get things started off on the right foot. So I had a couple of demos for some new songs that I had used for PBR, and I thought of the name The Mighty Good Times, and I was just sort of making some Bandcamp releases and stuff and a Facebook page, and one of my buddies in Jackass Flats hit me up and was like, hey, do you guys want that opening gig? And I was like, yes. And I didn't even really have a band yet. In fact, I didn't have a band at all yet. It was just me, and I didn't know who was going to be in it. So I had just over a month to get ready for a New Year's Eve gig, while also preparing for the last PBR gigs and practicing for those. So I made a Facebook post, and a couple of people hit me up, and so we got together for a practice. We had Jake Lawrence and Johnny and Tara from The Folly, and we all got together, and there was supposed to be somebody who came to play the drums with us. Sorry, I'm scared of the spider now. And he couldn't show up for practice that day, and we were like, does anybody else know anybody? And Jake was like, oh yeah, I play another band with the guy, Ryan Bowman. So I was like, call him, and Ryan was over there in like an hour, and he lives in Chester, so that's like 30 minutes to get drums packed up and head over. And so we had a practice, and we had chemistry right away, and we were having fun with the songs. I had a bunch of songs in my pocket that I didn't think were the best fit for PBR, and sometimes I just write stuff for like to play solo, and I don't think of it as band stuff. And so we had like a violin, and then we added Brit on keys and fire spinning. So we had a 6-piece, and that's so much different than a 3-piece. And a 3-piece, it's like the challenge is constantly filling the space and making enough noise, and like having to be big with your instrument. And a 6-piece with 2 guitar players and like other lead instruments like fiddle and piano and stuff. I really had to. The challenge was way different. It was like a challenge of organizing and doing less, really, breaking up the guitar parts into 2, which I've never been used to. My first band in high school was like a 3-piece, and our bass player never showed up, so it was like, got real used to being busy on like the rhythm and the lead at the same time, and then played in a 3-piece for years, so I was used to approaching things like one way, and this was just completely new and different. And it was fun though. We did a bunch of sort of songwritery type stuff that I wouldn't have done with PBR because I didn't have other instruments like somebody to play rhythm, somebody to play lead, and especially like while I'm singing, I can't be like playing hokey leads and the rhythm guitar and singing at the same time. It's physically impossible, I think. I know somebody's probably doing it. Um, but yeah, so we had a six-piece band, and we practiced our butts off in that month, and it was just like, um, it was intense. I put a lot of pressure on myself and the band to get ready for that because we were gonna play in front of a packed house at the Camel. You know, I wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be like, this is how we come out, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is this new band. Like, you know, I want to see them more. I want to follow their social media. I want to see what's next. And it went great, exactly as I planned. Like, the band just, we killed it. We had so much fun, and the crowd had a blast and loved it. And so things were perfect. So we started booking, and I was like booking my ass off. I had the next probably 4 months all booked up, and we started playing shows, going to Baltimore, doing more stuff in Richmond, and going out to the western part of the state. And then COVID-19 hit, and everything just shut down. So we were like, all right, we have to find a different approach to music, and we just, I don't know, we were like, well, now this gives us a second with all of our immediate gigs getting canceled to really like hone in on our sound and like figure some stuff out and not be in such a crazy rush to just like throw a set together like we were for the New Year's Eve gig. And so, you know, we kind of did that. We practiced a lot, but waited to put any material out and kind of see what was going to happen in the world. And, you know, obviously it stayed shut down. It's still pretty shut down as far as music goes, live music. And we saw that bands were doing live streams and like live stream sets, live stream festivals. And an immediate thing that I noticed was like the quality wasn't very good, like sound wise and video wise in a lot of them, and that's because the band's like recording on Zoom through YouTube, and that's getting streamed through like another venue's Facebook page or a company's Facebook page and stuff, and it's just like the quality just gets worse and worse and worse every time you stream it from somewhere to somewhere else. And so we didn't want that to happen, especially we're a new band. Nobody knows, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who haven't heard our sound yet, and we didn't want their first impression of us to be that, you know. So we called our good friend Julian Ashby, who does amazing videos. He's worked with the NFL and like huge car companies. He did a bunch of music videos for PBR, and just a great dude. He's a complete maniac and a fucking genius. And I love working with him. We've done some really cool stuff with him. I remember a time we were pulling all of our equipment up onto the top of the Broadberry with ropes, and he was there for that filming, and I don't know, we just always have a really good time. So he came out and brought his buddy Tom Mayer, and we called Brian Farquhar, who runs sound at the Camel and has recorded albums for a bunch of sweet Richmond bands. And we got him to come out and do sound, Julian and Tom to bring their really nice cameras out, and we got a friend to let us use their rooftop spot. Now, a week before the rooftop set that we'd been practicing and working on for like a month and planning out, the people, our friend Kristen, who was letting us use their rooftop spot right in Jackson Ward, it was going to be perfect, sunset and everything, but they sprung a leak, so they had to like pull up all the like concrete pavers and all the furniture and just like everything, push everything off to the side, fix the leak in the roof, and then get a guy to come back out and like redo the whole rooftop, like, I don't know what you call it, patio deck thing. So it was one guy trying to do this big job up on the roof, and it wasn't going to be ready in time for the date that we'd picked, and there's not only a six-piece band, and all those schedules have to line up for the date, but also we have, you know, sound engineer and film crew and, you know, the availability of the rooftop and stuff. So everything worked out for this one date, and it was the only time that we could get it all together. And we went to do it, and they had that leak. So I was like, what if we show up several hours early, and we help this dude just do the work? And they're like, well, that would be great. So we showed up early in the hot sun on a rooftop in Richmond in the summertime, and did some hard manual labor for a few hours, and got this roof set up enough that we could set up our gear. Then we dragged all our gear up to the roof and got all set up, and it was perfect timing right before sundown, and we started our set, nailed it all in the first run, and then Julian went home to edit. I went over to his house and over to his little office, helped him with the editing. More so, I just hung out while he did the editing, but I talked about stuff with him. We worked some ideas, and Brian and Johnny went and worked on mixing, mastering the audio, and then we released that on a couple of live stream festivals. One through our new booking agency, Loose Leaf. Matt Dolliver, shout out. That dude's awesome. He's doing our booking now, and I'll get you his info if you need to book us. And we also picked up a manager at that same time, my old buddy Taco, who was PBR's first manager a long time ago for a short time, but if it was, I don't know, if I could do it all over again, I would have made sure that he stayed on. But I'm glad to have him back. One of the first people I called for all this was our good friend Carter, and you can see if you watch the YouTube video, it's called like Mighty Good Times Rooftop Set. Hey, how you doing? Our buddy Carter introduced us, and he's the man. When we moved into this house, he brought over some lily plants, and we planted them, and now we have these beautiful canna lilies in our front yard. And he just brought over a piano the other day, so now we have like an acoustic piano in our living room. But yeah, so Carter and Taco were some of the first people I called when I was starting a new band, because they, I don't know, some of the best friends that I've had over the years, and people that I really missed having on tour with PBR over the last few years since they hadn't been coming with us. So I had my whole crew back together, and we made a great rooftop video. In fact, we just released the audio for it on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff, Pandora, and everywhere. It was like a live, or not a live, it's like a digital distribution package that we bought, or that Ryan, our drummer, bought and for his studio. So yeah, we did that, and now we've booked a couple of more shows here and there at some socially distanced places like the Camel, all-seated shows. We did an early show and a late night show because we sold out the early show because we could only sell, I think, 60-something tickets, but ended up selling out both shows. And yeah, now we're on our way. And yeah, recently we've lost Johnny as the guitar player. And so now we're down to a 5-piece, but it's cool. Our last few practices have been really good, and I'm like starting to get back into my one guitar attack feel, like bringing in some more rock and roll songs and getting kind of a good balance between those and the songwriter stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out. We're about to go in the studio with Ricky Olsen, who did PBR's third album, Quit or Die, and we're gonna knock out, I think we're going to start with 2 singles and release those, and then, work on getting the whole album out. So we got good things coming up in the future. We got some Richmond gigs coming up. I don't know, you might be watching this way down the road, but it's August 29th, 2020 right now, and on September 18th we're playing at Brambley Park, and then in October we're playing in Winchester on the 3rd, then on the 9th, we're doing the Camel. October 11th, we're going to Waynesboro and playing a street art festival. And now we're looking at something else for the 15th, too. But yeah, we'll be in Richmond and elsewhere. We're looking at a gig up in Pennsylvania right now in October, too. So yeah, check out the music if you dig it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll keep doing these things. I love you guys, miss you guys. Can't wait to be playing some music for you again. I'm writing it, so we'll be out there. Bye.